Okay, and welcome. We're closing up on the event. This is the last part before we get into the final part of the schedule, which is all about showing any situation, everyone, no matter who they are, gratitude. Yeah, show them gratitude and congratulations. Congratulate yourself while you're at it and show yourself some gratitude too, because that's all important when it comes to mindfulness and meditation. You are your best friend, not your enemy, okay? The enemy can be your best friend as long as you can just flip to your advantage instead of your disadvantage. Don't let it tear you up. Situations get the better of you, eat you up. It's what we want to avoid. I'm just going to turn this music down in the background. This is one of my producers from America, and one of the beats they made me. So, what is subtle in understanding, and what is not so subtle? Well, so to be not so subtle is to be less subtle. It's to be inconspicuous. That's right, yeah. Less conspicuous, or not so conspicuous. To be inconspicuous. So, not so subtle. Now, not obvious. Things that are not obvious, that's something else altogether. Though what we want to look at is something else. It's something often not actually stated within conversations. You may want to look this up in Quora or some website. So what is the meaning of subtle? Well, subtlety, something delicate. It's a situation involving something difficult to understand for some, or something that's not easy to perceive, and that it may involve a difference in sound and sight of something or someone that's obscured or elusive. The perceptive of that is in the realms of perception, where the moral sense comes to play on things that are subtle. So it pays to be marked by keen insight, with the ability of penetrating deeply, more than just deep breathing, for a calm mind and body. When it comes to mindfulness, it pays to be the scholar of subtlety, because otherwise the situation can get the better of you with what's to be obvious, but usually said when someone says one thing but they clearly mean something else. So if you don't know, then you'll be unsure, so be hesitant. Then you try to avoid being confused. It's alright to not be with the program at first. What's hard to notice or see in terms of understanding is something that's not so obvious. So looking at understanding and subtlety, the barely noticeable of subtle and subtlety is something that wasn't so direct, so easy to understand, wasn't so bold, in less words, by not overstating the situation, is a noticeably easier way to understand exactly what you're saying. So what's not so subtle? Things like games and jokes, or where the joke of a game is on you because you missed the point in understanding the subtlety of it. Well, that's not very nice. That's a nasty thing. And we need to be calm in the mind and the body. Deep breaths. No matter what, any situation, whoever it is. And we have to understand that things like sarcasm can get way out of hand and be used in a very detrimental way that's unpleasant because they're overly pejorative without good cause. So understanding things that are indirect and not so blunt, whilst we're being sharp about what's vague and the vagaries of things, and that which leave you to be suspicious of strangers, suspicious of anyone really. But as far as safeguards go, it's all right to be considerate within any situation of what could happen and the outcome or outcomes of that situation. There'll only be one, but it's all right to bear in mind outcomes. So looking at that and how someone can walk up to your girlfriend and put their arm around her and smile in your face all the time, they want to take your place. Those backstabbers, yeah. So another person that's watching what you say is a person that is like you, because this is what I need you to do. I need you to be aware, within awareness for mindfulness, and be aware of what's being said, what you're saying, what someone else is saying, no matter what, whether they're speaking with subtlety or they're not speaking with subtlety. And going back and forth between the various differences of subtlety and what's not so subtle, you're looking for the speakers of either, or maybe you find someone who's a bit of both. So in looking at that and looking at the situation, being subtle and act to convey there's something or things, and that it's in terms of like poetry, or and that is like an art form to the whole thing. So both either way, or even if you're dabbling in a bit of both, like there's an art form to it. It's not easily mastered. It takes a lot of practice. Even just being mindful of the fact that that is how someone is speaking. So, like I said, in poetry is all about conveying something. You transfer a situation to another situation. And that's a transformative thing. So, like you would go from like lightness to darkness, or vice versa, darkness to light. So, which is conveying. That's what poetry is all about. It'll take you from A to B. So you'll go from darkness to light. That's a simple act of poetry's ability to convey a situation. So the biggest reason in being subtle is all about challenge, and how life is an all-out challenge, and that, and in terms of communication and being understood and making people understand you, is all-out challenge. Not speaking so in not speaking directly, you will be speaking indirectly. Some people don't pick up on this too easily. They don't pick up on the fact that you're speaking indirectly about a person or another, or an event, or a situation, a time and a place. So let's think on my noma. My noma is a verb, so that's all about prevent and preventing situations, or preventing certain types of people, be they extremists or terrorists, from getting inside your head, so that you've had it up to here, and that will it all right. In being subtle, so this is all about realization and being realized. It's like epiphanies, it's awareness, it's mindfulness, and it pays to be meditative on all of this, deeply meditative, deep breaths. Deep breaths all the time, no matter what, so that you're not rattled by the situation. Okay? If something is worth saying, then you have to say it, because if you don't, then there's going to be a problem, right? And what we seem to have is something worth saying. So if it's being said for the very worth of have something worth saying, then you have to say it. But how do you communicate it? Some people have ideas. They have ideas and they work on theories to think within games and jokes to see that what they can get out of an outcome from making their way to communicate happen through subtlety and not so subtle language. So, in dominating a situation and being argumentative, speaking with cliches and euphemisms and big complicated words instead of easy to understand simple language, right? That's dynamic, yeah? You're feeding into fear and hatred instead of the complete opposite. Some people cannot find silence from the likes of this type of technique and tactic. So in conversations and the bad habits of language and what it is to and what it means, what it is and what it means to be blunt and direct and brief without being vague, avoiding vaguities and speaking with vague language, and vague understanding as well. So that all awareness on that, you can ask someone to speak more clearly and speak more directly to give you the information that you want all along. So, but you have to do it calmly. You've got to be friendly about it. So, in looking at that situation and the point that we're dealing with, it's the tangible, isn't it? It's the tangible, which is the opposite of subtle. It's the tangible that does it, and the harmless that does it. The harmless of tangible, and it's also the unperceptive of what is bad. Good perception is bad. So look, let's wait there. So what I'm saying is, when it comes to subtlety, subtlety is about the intangible. Okay, it's about the harmful. That's subtlety for you all over. Right. So let's listen here. Subtlety is the intangible and the harmful, and it's all about. It's perceptive, and it's all perceptive. Perceptive, because this is what people are trying to do to you when they talk to you with subtlety. It's like a game and a joke. Now, mindful of that, we are aware, we realise, and we are calm in the mind and calm in the body. Taking deep breath in, and exhale deeply. So with that in mind, we can tackle the reins of any situation, any state. We know better. We know what's what. Nobody has to be ignored, and nobody has to go home crying or get locked up and feel trapped and all that or misunderstood. So, we're here to help. We are our best friend. I'm my own best friend. You're your own best friend. There's no enemy. We know how to flip the flip to our advantage, not our disadvantage. And we roll. So with that in mind, show yourself some gratitude and congratulate yourself. Do that out there to the rest of the world. Show it some gratitude and congratulate it. And furthermore, whilst you're at it, show yourself some more gratitude and congratulate yourself. Applause. You go, pat on the back. Yes, pat on the back. Left and right. All right. What can I say? I hope you've enjoyed it. If you need to come back, and watch the playlist again just to pass the time. You want it on in the background whilst you're cooking or something, or whatever it is you're doing, or you're just while you're out there jogging and stuff, or walking about in nature. You've got it on your phone like it's some sort of audio book. Go for it. Use the playlist at YouTube. Use it all you want. Go over it in your head. I hope it's been helpful. That's what it's there for. I wish you all the best. Good luck with mindfulness and meditation. Thank you very much.